One Zambia and one nation. Welcome to Zanis News with me, Sarah Miti. Top stories in the news. Media houses urge to incorporate children in their schedule tomorrow. Gender inequalities worry government. Declaration of drought and national disaster welcomed. And in sports, government to support all sports disciplines. Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana has urged all media houses, both public and private, to incorporate children in their broadcasting schedule during the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which falls tomorrow, 3rd of March 2024. Mr. Kawana says this will provide an opportunity for children to express their views on issues that affect them. Muna Chibende reports that the PS said this when he interacted with children in his office today.
International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which falls on every first Sunday of March, provides children with a unique platform to communicate with different audiences and air their views on various issues. This year's commemoration will be celebrated under the theme, Children's Voices, Children's Rights, Our Collective Responsibility. Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana took time to interact with children about their day in his office ahead of tomorrow's commemoration.
Tomorrow, as we commemorate International Children's Day of Broadcasting, it is important that all media outlets, private media, public media, electronic media, and in this I'm talking about all media spectrums, both television, radio, tabloids in some cases. Tomorrow is a day set aside by the world to be a day for the children to express themselves. Therefore, we urge all television stations, all radio stations to surrender their stations tomorrow to our children, so that then our children can run the show, our children can express themselves, and our children can also be the ones to work for that particular day as they please. And I also want to urge leaders in government, in private entities, in civil society, to allow and avail themselves to the children, for the children to ask them the questions that they may have, so that they should know and feel special that being International Children's Day, they are very important to the world.
National Guidance and Religious Affairs Assistant Director under the Office of the Vice President, Godfrey Kaoma, explains government's role in eradicating moral decay among children in the country.
Maybe developing that policy document is we have continued conducting sensitizations, and among the target groups we are targeting who can help us to ensure that moral decay comes a bit to lower levels. We have tried to identify the people we can call gatekeepers, such as chiefs and the traditional leaders, because we know that most times they are even the custodian of morals. So our focus now, and the emphasis, even what my permanent secretary emphasizes on, is that our concentration should be on young people. So among the things, again, we have done, we have had meetings with Ministry of Education, and I think we heard that the curriculum was being revised. We are ensuring that national values and principles are mainstreamed in the education curriculum, so that children will start learning about morals even in pre-grades.
Meanwhile, the civil society has interpreted this year's theme for the day.
This year's theme, which is talking about children's voices and children's rights, our collective responsibility, is a very important theme, because it points to the fact that for children to have voices and for their rights to be appreciated, it's a collective responsibility, because of their rights. So it's us adults. So if you see children, be joining gangs, the so-called junkies, it's because adults are not doing their part. So it's our collective responsibility. So even for them to voice out, we need to create platforms as adults for them to be able to come to our radio stations, for them to come to our TV stations, for them to write in our newspapers. It is us adults who are working there who are supposed to facilitate. even for parents. For us to create a democratic society, we need to create platforms for children to express themselves.
Munachwende for Zanis in Lusaka.
Vice President Mtarina Lumango says it is worrying that gender inequalities still exist in the country, despite efforts by government and other stakeholders in promoting gender equality. Mrs. Nalumango says women have continued to suffer from gender-based violence and other gender-related vices, such as child marriages. The Vice President was speaking during the APSA Zambia Women in Business Gala dinner last night. Women have continued being instrumental to the socio-economic development of the country. And Vice President Mtarina Lumango has thus explained government's position on gender equality and inclusion. This was during an APSA event last evening where the women folk were honored for their contribution to the country.
As a government, we are committed to promoting gender equity and equality through the effective implementation of gender policies coordinated by the Gender Division in Cabinet Office. Through the 2023 National Gender Policy, and together with the private sector, we aim to increase the participation of women in economic activities. Government is, among others, creating an enabling environment that offers equitable access to productive and economic resources. The UPND administration is pleased to note that APSA Bank remains committed as an institution to promote inclusion and address inequalities that still exist in our communities through various initiatives aimed at supporting the girl child.
APSA Managing Director Ms. Ngamelu explained the main objective of the event and highlighted how the bank is empowering women in the country.
But really this for us is just a representative to acknowledge the women for the hard work that they do in the communities, in running their various businesses, in running the various organizations. Through APSA's Women in Business proposition, we have been working with various enterprises and helping them through our Unleash program. Madam Vice President, from the last time that we have met, we are happy to report that we have given facilities to a number of women in the audience, and we have helped them grow and be better businesses. And some of the businesses that we have been able to support and also some of the propositions we have been able to support include providing affordable finance, access to trade markets, business development skills, and access to business information. Madam Vice President, you'll be happy to note that we did take a number of women to the Congo just to support them in opening doors for them.
COMESA Secretary General Chileshe Kapwepwe shared tips on how women working in male-dominated industries can break through the challenges faced.
I think you have to have the confidence that you can do that job. And that confidence comes with knowledge of your field. We should not accept token appointments. We should accept appointments because we are capable and we're able to take on the role. Having values and principles is very important to me and has been a guiding factor in what I've done. Values are deeply held beliefs that guide your behavior. They also help you to be consistent and fair in your dealings, and they also define who you are. So your core values will help you to filter choices when you are faced with important or challenging decisions. Say yes to the right things and say no to the wrong thing.
The women who were awarded for making a difference in various disciplines shared some words of encouragement to the other women folk.
Ensure that they have a supportive network, and your supportive network is just not other girls or women, but also the men folk. We have to bring men on board to understand some of the challenges that women face. It's not easy being a career woman or to pursue your goals given the other responsibilities that you have.
I would just tell all the women, young, old, middle-aged, that you have to get cracking with your life. Challenges will come. With every challenge, there is a solution. Every problem, there is a solution. So solution is already there for us. We have to go and reach that goal.
Sarah Miti for Zanis in Lusaka. Farmers in Chirundu district of Southern Province have endorsed government's plans to expand the irrigation scheme as announced by President Hakainde Hichilema during his address to the nation on Thursday. One of the farmers, Lankos Hiashoke, says the announcement by President Hichilema, once actualized, will enhance food security as farmers will be able to grow food all year round. Lakson Makota brings us this report.
The farming community in Chirundu district of Southern Province has welcomed government's plans to expand irrigation as announced by President Hakainde Hichilema during the State of the National Address last Thursday. The announcement excited farmers in Kayuni area who largely depend on rain-fed agriculture, saying the move will enable them to grow food throughout the year.
My irrigation please batuletere kuno ku Chirundu district twapatira sombuliko kuno ku Chirindi mukayuni camp tuli apenza amenda olo garden ngatatulima mputibedi
kwa my irrigation ngatwakwanisha kuteni kusanina migwa yesu kama irrigation mabotu kambolo chindi cha chilimo ngakatuteni ngatulima ngatutirira ama irrigation
ngatugwasyaga iyi wala chilimo olona unatia wambulimo kubete bo ngote ko twikimba irrigation nanga tulatirira.
Farmers want the irrigation program to be actualized as this will help to enhance food security in valley areas such as Kayuni.
Ya kuti wapola mwizo kuti batugwaya ama irrigation aubala migodi mundali kwamba ngajapo tamaningi nkambo maboha twakwabe hakwalino upanga magarden kwalima mapopwe andi nkokuti twagumani yabo mwaka twaunga mumazuwa kuti twataya kutebula kabotu kuti uzumana kupona kabotu mbonyambuli president bakatugwaya kuti mwino tutupehe chini chomwe twazumana kupona anjalo kwa mazuwa mbulembo aya yali kuti chibotu maningi chinthu echo.
Irrigation ngatugwahiriha kuti tulijisi maportions amyonda njimunya ngotujisi na mumanda twabona kuti ngatwatalika kuna kutirira mugati kuti batuletera way out ya kuti tutamenda ngamunyayo penzi ya tujera ya mapenzi aja gubura jaguli.
Government's intention is to use irrigation as an intervention to protect farmers against climate shocks such as drought. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makodza.
Residents of Kabwe have welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's directive to the Defense Forces to enhance production of maize to maintain a stable supply of affordable milling meal in view of the high price of the commodity in the country. Here's a report.
Residents of Kawe have welcomed President Hakainde Hichilema's short-term interventions to address the drought situation which has been declared a national disaster. The residents in the Central Business District has expressed hope that the President's directive to Defense Forces to enhance production of maize will maintain a low price of the staple food. Goodson Maseka has emphasized that government should construct more dams to support irrigation.
All right, we need to look at a long-term solution. As a water and sanitation expert, I would rather we concentrate on the construction of dams and also canals. All right, we have too much water, especially from the northern part of Zambia. Why can't we think of a long-term solution where we put up dams, all right? We get water from the northern part of Zambia, which will feed most of the areas in the provinces around Zambia, especially the central and southern part of Zambia. This is one of the long-term solutions.
Chewe Katongo has encouraged residents to work together in order to fight the drought crisis as a country. And local taxi drivers are hopeful that the interventions put in place will ensure that no one dies from hunger.
Concerning about the drought, yes, it's true. We have to engage our local people to make sure that our country is productive when it comes to food. And it's good to engage Zanis. We have also resolved so-called correction even in Zambia Army as well.
Catherine Musenda reporting for Zanis.
Various stakeholders in Luapula province have welcomed the declaration of the drought situation that Zambia has experienced as a national disaster. Former Mansa Mayor Emmanuel Chungu says the move by President Hakainde Hichilema to call for unity as the country battles the devastating drought situation is commendable.
El Nino is a climate phenomenon that happens when the surface temperatures of the Pacific Ocean near the equator become warmer than usual. This warming can influence weather patterns around the world, leading to changes in rainfall, temperatures, and storm patterns. This is a big climate switch-up that affects how weather behaves in different regions. Like other countries in the region, Zambia has not been spared by El Nino, hitting the country with adverse effects of a prolonged drought. President Hakainde Hichilema has described the drought that Zambia is experiencing as severe and first of its kind.
As fellow citizens, addressed you under the circumstances where our beloved country faces a severe drought, one of a kind in many years. I've not seen this kind of drought for many years. I'm a village boy myself. I don't remember a particular year when the community could not even test even pumpkins.
President Hichilema has disclosed that an estimated 1 million hectares of planted maize has been destroyed, leaving the country in a dire situation. The president has since declared the drought situation as a national disaster. Stakeholders in Luapula province have taken turns to react to the presidential declaration.
It's something that we should not take lightly. Already we can see that there's looming, hunger, serious one ahead of us. So it is important to come together, stakeholders, and work together, and not just on paper and not just on phone.
As a short-term measure, the president has instructed local authorities across the country to fight and end wildfires. Former Mansa Mayor Emmanuel Chungu has backed the president's directive to curb wanton bush burning.
Or what is the local authorities will now do or start doing is to enforce by getting on the ground, to physically work with the headmen in various chiefdoms so that this is actually observed. Though our traditional rulers have actually been doing this, except maybe there was no reinforcement on the ground.
What this means is that all eyes now focus on Zambia with a view to ameliorating what is happening. Because if this was not declared, everybody would think it was life as normal. So that declaration is well commendable, and it should be as it is.
For Zanis TV, Godfrey Chikumbi reporting.
Chief Musaka of the Lamba people in Mushindano district has bemoaned the dry spell that has hit the district. The traditional leader says he's one of the farmers who have lost maize after acquiring a loan through the Sustainable Agriculture Finance Facility and invested in a 6-hectare maize field. Chai Bunkoma brings us this report.
This is part of Chief Musaka's 6 hectares of land, where he invested a 50,000 kwacha Sustainable Agriculture Finance Facility loan he got from the Ministry of Agriculture. However, as a result of the dry spell being experienced, some crops have developed stunted growth, while some have completely withered.
It's really hammered us. Even myself, I had a loan of 50,000, which I was given 20 bags of urea and 20 bags of D-compound. My farm is just behind this palace there. If you go there, maize is just, withering like onions. I don't think we'll salvage enough, maybe just for consumption.
While President Hakainde Hichilema is declaring the situation as a national disaster, the chief is calling for help from government.
Even the country, the chiefdom, a lot of people are bringing those complaints that we have been hit. So we only have to appeal to government to plan for us here and ensure that they find a way how they're going to look after these people. Because right now there is a hunger situation here. People don't have enough in their storages.
The situation has also affected the locals.
Chine bakafurumende twachiura kuno umwenshunga umo abantu mubabikire fertilizer takuri imfuro kurokera koyoho amataba onse hao naika nangu muriro kati wapisha murukoso amataba api kafurumende tumfine ko rusana fwe na fwebo turi bantu benu na mai election fwense turavota taturi pati turi bena Kongo yo turi bena Zambia.
Reporting for Zanis News, I am Chebunkoma in Mushindamo District, Northwestern Province.
Thank you, Chaibu, for that report. We now take our first break. Join us for more interesting stories after the break.
Kodi kolera ndi chani?
Kolera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya kolera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala kolera madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala kolera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a kolera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi kolera ingachinjiriziwe?
Gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mkalebe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsiwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbuzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
Welcome back. Farmers in Mumba district have taken heed of President Hakainde Hichilema's advice to embrace irrigation techniques for early maturing winter maize amidst the prolonged dry spell. One of the farmers, Frazier Tembo, has highlighted the need to shift towards conservation agricultural practices. Details are in the following report.
The adverse effects of the current dry spell on crops has prompted Zanis to conduct some selected farm visits to appreciate the resilience of farmers in Mumba district. Kennedy Munangisa, a farmer, has been found preparing land for winter maize following the prolonged dry spell.
Now do 4 acres instead of 7 or 8, which I wanted to do. So if the government can identify small-scale farmers, those who have got boreholes and irrigation system, us as small-scale farmers, we are ready to assist the government so that we can improve on the food basket, so that we can even grow a lot of winter maize, irrigated maize, to supplement on the few crops which are going to pick out of this dry spell.
Former Conservation Farming Unit Western Region Manager turned farmer Frazier Tembo is calling for the adoption of conservation farming practices.
So I'm urging farmers to adopt conservation farming, those that have not adopted. And those that are doing conservation farming, please carry on. I'm just happy that in Mumba, a lot of farmers bought tractors and reapers. What I'm just urging is the Ministry of Agriculture is to follow up these farmers so that they can see what they are doing. I've been to one or two farms in the Kalovelo area. There's a lot of maize done by the farmers through conservation farming.
Meanwhile, Charles Hampende, another local farmer, has acknowledged the changing times and advocates for the widespread adoption of the irrigation system.
But this is the time that we need to realize
what the president is saying, as farmers, we need to take it up. We need to go into irrigation. And some of the advantages of irrigation, instead of having one harvest in a year, you are likely to have 3 times, meaning 3 years in 1 year. And if you are able to do 3 years in 1 year or 3 harvests in 1 year, it simply means we are going to make more money in only 1 year.
Tilling of land for winter maize growing is evidence that farmers are proactively seeking solutions to address the challenges posed by climate change. Krugasiankuru, Zanis, Mumbwa.
Chongwe Municipal Council and the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency have disposed of 36 by 50 kilogram bags of substandard urea fertilizer at Chikwangala dam site in Chongwe district. The fertilizer, which was confiscated from Fumigate Zambia Limited on December 14, 2023, was disposed of following a court order which was issued by Chongwe Magistrate Court on December 16, 2023. We have details in the following report.
A joint team of officers from the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency ZICSA and Chongwe Municipal Council has disposed of 36 by 50 kilogram bags of substandard granular urea fertilizer, which was seized from Fumigate Zambia Limited on 15 December 2023. The fertilizer was disposed of at Chikwangala dam site in Chongwe district following a court order obtained by the local authority from Chongwe Magistrate Court. Speaking to the media after the exercise, ZICSA Public Relations Officer Onisius Mamba said the substandard fertilizer was seized for breaching compulsory standards and public health regulations.
ZICSA seized granular urea fertilizer on 14th December 2023 from Fumigate Zambia Limited and handed the non-compliant product to Chongwe Municipal Council. Afterwards, the council obtained a disposal order from the Chongwe Magistrate Court. The urea fertilizer was seized for contravening Section 16 of the Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017 and the Zambian Standard ZS 605 fertilizers urea specification. Further, the substandard fertilizer contravened the Public Health Act Cap 295 of the laws of Zambia.
Mr. Mamba also stated that ZICSA will not hesitate to take action against companies selling substandard fertilizer.
We want to warn that ZICSA and Chongwe Municipal Council will take stern action against companies which are manufacturing and supplying products on the market in contravention of applicable laws. This is because the safety of such products cannot be guaranteed and may pose a risk to public safety, health and the environment. The authorities will continue conducting joint enforcement activities in a bid to ensure that only safe products are allowed on the market. We call upon consumers we urge consumers to also buy products from reputable sources and report any suspicious products to the nearest agency office.
And Chongwe Municipal Council Public Relations Officer Peter Sukwa added that the authority will equally not tolerate any company selling substandard fertilizers in the district.
Those substandard commodities which others know are selling on the market, I think we wish not to send a warning that what we are doing today is a signal that Chongwe is a no-go zone area for such activities.
Sheila Makosa, reporting for Zanis in Chongwe district.
The World Bank has released over $233 million United States dollars for the construction of 22 secondary schools and 72 early childhood education centers in Western Province. The project will be undertaken through the Zambia Enhanced Education Project and the Zambia Early Education Learning in the Ministry of Education. Darlington Kabambe brings us the details.
The cutting of the ribbon signifies the commencement of the construction of 22 secondary schools and 72 early childhood centers at a total cost of $233 million, a World Bank funded project in Western Province. Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary for Administration, Mrs. Noriana Moneku, who was represented by Acting Director Planning and Information, Richard Banda, shared the following.
The presence of the BRE, representative of the Ditunga, epitomizes not only the importance of this event, but the unwavering support that traditional leadership is providing to the government's socio-economic development efforts. Allow me to pay tribute to the World Bank and the Global Partnership for Education, providing the financial resources that have made it possible for the government to implement these projects. ZIP, together with the initial project, ZIP or the parent ZIP, has been made possible with the financing amounting to $233 million from the World Bank.
Both Western Province Minister Kapela Mbangweta and Provincial Education Officer Peggy Chilema expressed their feelings.
The new Dawn government, under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Chilema, attaches great importance to provision of equitable education and other developmental initiatives to all the 10 provinces of this country. The construction of the 22 secondary schools and the 8 preschools across the province is a positive step by the New Dawn government towards the realization of the UPND Party Manifesto. This ZIP and the ZIP project is the largest ever investment in educational infrastructure development in Western Province that is coming at once in the history of this province and in this country.
This is a true response from the ministry's commitment of providing access and quality to our learners. We are standing here to symbolize the building of Usha's Day Secondary School through the ZIP-ZIL project. We have actually been given 18 secondary schools by day and 4 boarding secondary schools, and at the moment we have 4 hubs for early learning access.
And the Barros Royal Establishment representative, Induna Inete, said the traditional leadership is elated with the massive development.
At no time did we receive mass development in terms of infrastructure in the area of education than what is being started today. If you address the issues of ignorance through education, we shall go back to our people and tell them what we have seen and heard.
Hope Nawa is a grade 11 pupil at Usha Secondary School.
Today we have witnessed the launch of the construction of the 22 secondary schools in Western Province. I would like to thank the funder, the World Bank and the government for this great turn in the right direction. The 22 secondary schools will provide more classes for us to use.
The groundbreaking ceremony of the 22 secondary schools to mark the launch of the Zambia Enhanced Education Project and Zambia Enhancing Early Learning was held at Usha Day Secondary School in the Nimulonga district of Western Province. Darlington Kabambe reporting in the Nimulonga district, Western Province.
Still in education news, Chizongwe STEM Secondary School in Chipata District is in need of an overhaul on its infrastructure after being in existence for close to 70 years. Here's a report.
Dating back to 1955, it has stood strong and produced great minds. Chizongwe STEM Secondary School in Chipata District is one of the oldest learning institutions in Eastern Province, explaining the dilapidated state of most infrastructure. The school deputy head teacher sat down with some former pupils to explain the current state of the school.
They opened in 1955. Of course, the structures that are around here could have been built much earlier than that, by say 1953 or so. The long-term solution to these seemingly ancient structures is the complete overhaul of the school. That is what would help, and also a very well-defined landscaping. That would help.
The alumni team that had earlier conducted a tour of the school made a commitment.
So as former pupils of Chizongwe, we have come together and we are working together. So how best can we work together to uplift our school? So there are various problems which have been identified, and there are various things that we have done also before. And one of them is the painting that we have seen. You have seen the painting? Yes. Okay, you have seen the painting? Yes. You like them? Yes. You like them? Yes. We really love our school. Once a metal, always a metal. And out there, who are practicing that. We realized that the school is old, the paint is gone, and we said let's repaint them, and we have repainted them. So we need to take care of the little, the infrastructure that we have, the cleanliness that we have impacted on this. We have to take care of them. We have identified problems. We went around all the schools. We'll do our best as alumni to mobilize resources, and we'll do in bits. We're not going to do everything at one time, but we'll do them in bits.
The school appreciates these efforts while making recommendations for a long-term solution. Abigail Kashweka reporting in Chipata District.
We take our second break. We have more stories to come. Stay tuned.
Kodi kolera ndi chani?
Kolera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya kolera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala kolera madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala kolera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a kolera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi kolera ingachinjiriziwe?
Gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mukalebe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsiwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbuzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
Welcome back. Now, over 10 million kwacha worth of loans and grants under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has been handed over to women and youths in Lusaka's Mandevu constituency. Here's a report.
Over 1,000 women and youths have benefited from 10 million kwacha in the form of loans and grants under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, in Mandevu constituency. 2.3 million kwacha is meant for grants, 3.1 million kwacha for loans, while 5.6 million kwacha has been allocated for skills development bursaries. The beneficiaries received the funds at a ceremony graced by Lusaka Province Minister Shil Muliata.
This CDF, through the able leadership of your president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, it has gone to all the 156 constituencies. All of us, we must benefit.
Mandevu Member of Parliament Christopher Shakafuswa appealed to government to consider allocating more financial resources to CDF to vast constituency.
Our children were asking for desks. As a constituency, this year we'll be procuring 3,000 desks. We are kindly knocking on the door of government that come 2025, as you allocate CDF, kindly consider the population size of a constituency so that more people are able to benefit according to your vision.
One of the loan beneficiaries, Ellis Piri, disclosed that she has received 125,000 kwacha meant for her beverage manufacturing business.
This thing, it is real. And this thing is not only for one person. It's not for UPND people only. No. Everyone is allowed, everyone is welcome to go at the center and seek for CDF funds. It is happening, it is there. This money which I applied, I'm intending to the company, dealing into beverage.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Choma Municipal Council has procured a borehole drilling rig to mitigate the water shortages being experienced in the district. Choma Mayor Javen Simoloka says the drilling rig has been procured using the 6 million kwacha set aside from the 2023 Constituency Development Fund CDF. Wakumelo Sitali has more in this report.
The continued dry spell that has hit Choma district has affected water supply in many areas. Dependable sources of water such as dams and streams are also drying up, a source of concern to residents. However, to mitigate this challenge, the Choma Municipal Council has procured the water borehole drilling rig from the 2023 CDF allocation.
We also have procured between Choma Central and Balala a water borehole drilling rig which will be available by May. The rig is being procured from India. The interim amount that was set aside was 3 million from Balala and 3 million from Choma Central, which amounts to 6 million. But the absolute bid price and what was given will be availed to the public when the process has finally ended.
The local authority will use this water borehole drilling rig to mitigate water challenges in the district.
It's not only hunger, but it's also need for water, for human and livestock. We need water for domestic use and both rural and urban. When the rig comes, we are going to make sure that the people in the rural and urban will have a strategy to make sure that we pull through this particular dry spell.
Meanwhile, Choma District Commissioner Gamera Sikaleya wants CDF projects monitoring intensified.
We have taken stock of all the projects that have been given by council and other party. We have something in the range of 300-400 projects, grants that have been given to our people. And if you look at the council, they've got no capacity to go and supervise all this. We'll give each of these projects to relevant departments for monitoring and supervision. The idea is that when we give out money, we have someone who is constantly checking and gives reports on a monthly basis.
Wakumelo Study, reporting for Zanis in Choma District, Southern Province.
Now, some stakeholders in Chadiza District have expressed worry with the quality of water being supplied by Eastern Water and Sanitation Company. The company district manager, Mwiche Samuele, has however assured the public that the situation will be addressed. Jubel Zulu now reports.
They say water is life, but with a condition of the current water supply in Chadiza District, lives are at risk of contracting water-related diseases. Currently, water supply to various homes is cloudy to brown, a situation worrying stakeholders.
As a district water development officer, we took it on a journey to go and actually investigate. And what we found on the ground is that actually Eastern Water currently has got no aluminium sulfate to actually help with the treatment of the water, which is quite a crucial component in the treatment of water. If it's not there, then it simply means that we are actually supplying water that does not meet the reserve standards, which can be rendered not to be safe for human consumption. It is for this reason that I actually call upon Eastern Water to actually correct the situation.
This has prompted the district to take a tour to the Eastern Water plant in Chadiza.
We have called upon them to work on one or two things so that Chadiza can be safe from any catastrophic situation that can happen in the district. This is in the face why we acted so promptly. It is because, as you may be aware, that this is rainy season and cholera is roaming even across the Mozambique. So we want to be safe and prepared for any epidemic that can break.
The Chadiza Eastern Water Administration has an assurance.
The complaint started flowing in as much as last week, which we were not aware of. Because if you are aware of, you would have moved in and correct the situation. But as much as the way where we are standing right now, the issue it has to do with the aluminium sulfate, which we have run out as Eastern Water, but it's on its way coming. And I think before the end of the day, we'll have that stock and they will continue in terms of operation.
Jubel Zulu, Zanis, Chadiza District, Eastern Province.
On a sad note, Central Province Minister Princess Kasune has described late Chitambo District Commissioner Evans Chola as a fighter for justice and fairness who stood for the truth despite facing opposition. Ms. Kasune says the late Mr. Chola also fought for human rights and advocated for the weak who could not speak for themselves. She was speaking at a church service before his burial in Serenje District. Here's a report.
A solemn meet characterizing auditorium at Malcolm Muffat College of Education in Serenje District as 10 district commissioners from Central Province walked in while carrying the body of one of their own. This was at the church service held in honor of late Chitambo District Commissioner Evans Chola, who died last Tuesday in a road traffic accident.
He has served as a councillor, as a council chairperson for both Serenje and Chitambo districts. He was the first council chairperson for Chitambo districts from 2011 to 2016. From 2020,
UPND National Chairperson Collins Maoma said Mr. Chola stood firm for the party prior to the 2021 general elections.
Even then, with the intimidation, the fight, the trouble they brought to his family and members of the UPND, he stood firm.
In their tribute, the late Mr. Chola's wife and children said Mr. Chola was a unifier who provided counsel and ensured that his children lead a better life.
Thank you because you also greatly helped my love for Christ to grow.
No words can ever come close to signifying who you were to us.
Mr. Chola has since been put to rest at Ikatazara Cemetery. The late Chola was born in 1960. He is survived by a wife, Lillian, 7 children, and 2 grandchildren. Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Serenje.
Thank you, Shupekile, and may the soul of Mr. Chola rest in peace. And finally, in the news, government says it will not relent in supporting athletes to meet their ambitions of becoming world-class stars in their sports codes. Speaking at the meet and greet cocktail for all stars participating in the All-African Games, Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts, Elvis Nkando, says government looks forward to athletes meeting medals in their various sports fields and bringing honor and pride to Zambia. Mr. Nkando said government will continue to support all sports disciplines in realizing their potential and contribution to the country's social and economic development. Speaking on behalf of the athletes, 400-meter sprinter Kennedy Kayembe has thanked government for giving equal support to all sports disciplines to thrive.
Government will not relent in supporting your aspirations of becoming world-renowned athletes and champions, and will endeavor to meet your ambitions at the hour of need. I think this means a lot. You understand what I mean? I repeat, this ministry, or this government through this ministry, will not relent in supporting you, supporting your ambitions of becoming world-renowned athletes or champions. And you definitely will endeavor to meet your ambitions at the hour of need. It is my appeal to all sporting and non-sporting organizations to come on board and partner with government in supporting our athletes in any way possible. I said it earlier and I want to repeat. Government should be helped in promoting sport. That's why I should once again thank those corporates, the private sector that came on board to this important event. Please continue, and I believe that others will emulate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Government recognizes the importance of sport organizations in providing opportunities for the growth of athletes in the country.
Sir, Honorable Minister, we say thank you that in Zambia we have recognized and observed that there are no minor sports anymore, and those sports disciplines are being treated equal. And as Team Zambia, we would like to promise and assure you that we will do our best. We will put in our best performance to win medals and bring honor to Zambia.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, we take a look at the headlines once again. Media houses urge to incorporate children in their schedule tomorrow. Gender inequalities worry government. Declaration of drought and national disaster welcomed. And in sports, government to support all sports disciplines. That is all we have for you on Zanis News. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Sarah Miti. Goodbye.